getting ahead of chronic diseases in your 20s and 30s, probably going to be a little bit more of a difficult discussion to talk about before they develop. In your 20s and 30s, there are now people in their 20s and 30s thinking about chronic diseases. First, let's start with the bell curve in human aging. What is the bell curve?
Well, for those people who don't know, the term came about because of the shape of a graph. It goes like this.
Yeah.
So you have ascending, peak, and descending.
Yeah.
Well, when you're on the ascending, your body is developing, and it is growing, and it is maturing, both mind and body. And you have a period of time which is referred to as the sweet spot of your life. And that sweet spot is somewhere between 18 and 20 and about 30 years old. So we're looking at roughly a decade. And that's what we call the sweet spot of life. You're just great. Your body's working as well as it probably ever will.
Oh, I see.
And everything is going along physically and mentally, in some cases as well, perfectly. But once you hit about 30, you're now starting slowly on descending down the other end of the bell curve.
Wow, that's almost depressing.
Yeah. Whether you will make that descension rapidly or very slowly depends on your lifestyle.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
Depends on your nutrients, depends on your diet, depends on how well you take care of yourself. Do you exercise? Do you get adequate rest? Do you manage stress effectively?
Those are all ways to prevent the acceleration of the down.
That's right. We're all going to go down.
Yeah.
But it's how fast you go down that makes a difference. And it's kind of like putting money away in a savings account.
Yeah.
For rainy day, for your retirement, for later in life. Living well when you think you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Is the key to prolonging that sweet spot of your life. But how many people, I can't count, especially in the last few years, where we get people in their mid-30s, late 30s, which isn't old, but they're already worried about and complaining about stiff, achy joints, arthritic conditions, digestive disturbances. You know, we've got millions of people in their 30s and 40s on antacids and prescription drugs for digestion already. And they've still got more than half their life ahead of them statistically.
Yeah.
So how did they get into this mess? How did they fall out of that sweet spot of life?
Well, they fell out because
quickly?
they didn't.
They're burning the candle at both ends
Yeah.
because they think they've got the ability and they've got the stamina to do so. And maybe they're right. Maybe they do in their 20s. But they're going to pay for it.
It's going to catch up.
In their 30s already. Yeah. And if you consider the average lifespan is 72, 74 years, if you're in your 30s, you're not even halfway yet.
Yeah.
And you're already paying the price of lifestyle self-abuse.
Yeah. And so, obviously, the thing to start with right there is a good full-spectrum multivitamin every day. And then whatever else you're dealing with, whatever else is from your family, you go from there. You talk to your doctor about what, a real full-spectrum vitamin like high vitality liquid that has the 136 nutrients and minerals and trace minerals and everything. That's the most convenient way to get something like that. But lastly, you've often said that inflammation and internal inflammation is the root cause of all illness. What can we do about it besides what I just said?
Well, fortunately, we have been able to isolate several nutrients that serve as natural anti-inflammatories without any of the side effects of drug
Yeah.
counterparts. There's turmeric. There's which, by the way, is very difficult for the body to absorb. And most turmeric supplements, you're only getting about 10 to 20% benefit. You have to add other cofactors to kick up the absorption. And then there's MSM, and then there's CMO, and then there's all of these other nutrients that can be shown to naturally help keep inflammation down. But there are so many sources of inflammation: environmental, food, water, toxins,
Stress. Yeah.
lack of sleep. The list goes on and on. And when you consider diabetes, arthritis, prostate problems, heart disease,
And then hereditary stuff that
and then the
you got no way
hereditary
of getting
effect.
out of that's
Right.
coming anyway.
All of those disorders have their root cause in excess inflammation.
Yeah.
So would it not be logical to do something about that excess inflammation before it's too late?
Yeah.
And the time to do that is in your 20s and 30s.
30s.
Because by the time you're 40, just look around.
Yeah.
Ask family members, ask friends that are in their late 30s and 40s. Ask them, tell you about how they feel already. Stiff, achy joints, predisposition to diabetes, arthritic conditions. Many people in their 40s already have joint deterioration, cartilage damage. How is this possible? Well, we know exactly how it's possible because of patent, clinical, gross nutrient deficiencies that the body needs on a daily basis to maintain wellness. And we could spend an entire session talking about why you can't get nutrients that you need in optimal doses from food.
Yeah.
It starts in the farm and it goes all the way to your supermarket. And there are many steps along the way, each one of them contributing to the degrading of the quality of the food stuff that we consume.
Yeah, especially if you get those people who tell you that they can get all their nutrition and nutrients from food. Send them to us and we'll educate them on what MPK is.
Yeah, the majority of those people who hold this constipated viewpoint are called dietitians, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And a great many medical doctors. Although I don't blame the doctors so much because they only got 2 weeks of nutrition science in 7 years of medical school, and probably they don't remember much of that. But dietitians are supposed to be the ones that are specializing in nutrition. And it's really sad. Just keep in mind that it was the dietitians who created the 4 basic food groups, and that wasn't bad enough. So then they created the food pyramid and really screwed us all up.
Yeah.